Okay. Good evening and welcome to the special council meeting this evening on August the 12th at 7 p.m. If we all rise, and I shall lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilman Castellanos.
Here.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado. Present. Councilmember Shoemaker. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Wu.
Here.
Mayor Johnson.
Here. At this time, if there's any public comments, if the only comments you can have is what's on the agenda tonight. So if you have any public comments, you're welcome to come up and give your name and speak of anything that's on the agenda. If not, I shall close the public comments, and we have one presentation regarding the Building and Safety Service. Who shall give a presentation?
Mr. Mayor, if I may just briefly introduce. Yes. As part of the adopted budget for the current fiscal year, there were a number of initiatives presented for council consideration, and this is one of the major ones. We were going to privatize some city services that had heretofore been performed with in-house force account staff. So one of those is city engineering, which is on your agenda for contract at your next meeting. And tonight, we're pleased to welcome the Willdan firm, who's going to talk to us about the building and safety services for the city. We have allotted them some time tonight. I think we've got the luxury of an off evening. We told them they could have 15 or 20 minutes to give us an overview. We're really interested in performance standards, performance metrics, and improving customer service in this area. So with that, we would like to thank the entire Willdan team and members of the public that are here tonight and invite Patrick Johnson to come and give us an overview presentation about Willdan and building and safety services. Welcome.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Patrick Johnson. I'm the Director of Building and Safety Services for Willdan. It's a pleasure being here this evening to present to you our services. We would like to introduce our staff who will be presenting. My name is Patrick Johnson. I've been with Willdan for 15 years. Past experience as a structural engineer. I started off with Willdan as a plan check engineer. And I kind of went through the ropes, became a building official at a couple cities, and then now I'm the director. I've also got Anthony Weinholt, who will introduce himself at a later time. He will be the acting building official proposing. And then I've got Darren Raskin, who's also a PE and a plan check engineer as well too. He oversees our plan check staff. And I've got Barba Chabanian, who oversees our permit technician. So the Willdan, are we good? Okay, yeah, because I'm really tall.
You're too tall.
It must be the last name. It must be the last name, right? Awesome, thank you. So the Willdan Advantage. Willdan has been in business for over 55 years assisting California jurisdictions with third-party support. We have pioneer staff augmentation for jurisdictions across California with a proven track record. No other consultant can touch what we have done in the state of California for providing third-party services. With over 1,200 professionals nationwide, we are a one-stop resource center. We've got planners, we've got building and safety personnel, we've got transportation, we've got public works, we've got everything underneath the envelope to serve a city. For this particular interest, we're looking into the building and safety services. We have 60 offices nationwide, 14 of them being in California, 8 of them in Southern California. With those 8 being in Southern California, we have one that's just located 5 miles from the city of West Covina. Willdan has a vast number of building and safety personnel that are available to meet the city of West Covina's needs. The building and safety transition. Willdan has already met with the current consultant to discuss transition, schedule, and procedures. We plan to have the following meeting, a follow-up meeting to address administrative procedures, any current major projects, and any outstanding issues. As far as plan review goes, in the transition and plan review, we want to make sure it goes as smooth as possible. The current consultant will provide us a report of all active plan reviews and percent complete. All active plan reviews should be completed through a period of 60 days with the current consultant. Current consultant is currently providing plan reviews on a 1-month turnaround time, where Willdan has a 2-week turnaround time for most plan checks. Therefore, all plans will be routed to Willdan 2 weeks prior to the transition date in order to meet the required 2-week turnaround time. As far as inspections go, we want to make sure this is a smooth transition as well too. Willdan will take over on inspections on the date of the contract. Willdan is currently in the process of talking to the existing city staff. 2 of the inspectors have already committed to join to Willdan. As a benefit of having Willdan is that we have additional inspectors and permit technicians available should the need arise. At this time, I'll turn it over to Anthony. He can talk a little bit about himself.
Mayor and members of the City Council, my name is Anthony Weimholt. And as far as building and safety services go, Willdan has a 40-year history of enforcing building codes and providing plan review and inspection services for numerous California agencies. Willdan is considered experts in code application and code interpretation and are here to assist the citizens and the development community through the process. As far as technical disciplines, building official, permit issuance, plan review and inspection, grading inspection, CASP services, accessibility plan review, geotech plan review, OSHPOD 3 plan review if needed, and inspection, flood zone experience, fire life safety inspection and plan check. So personally, I have over 35 years building and safety experience. I actually started with Willdan 1983. Worked as an inspector, went up through the ranks, became a building official, worked in Rosemead for a couple of years as their building official. Then I went to the city of Norwalk where I was a building official for 22 years. So I'm also a certified access specialist, so I can assist the development community, your business community, and working through issues that come up for accessibility. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Darren to talk about our plan review services.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Darren Raskin, and I'm an ICC certified plans examiner, as well as a registered professional engineer. I have over 25 years of experience in the construction and building industry. Most of my experience has been in the private sector as a consulting engineer, and that gives me a lot of insight on the way the program or everything works in the plan review process. So in regards to plan review services, we use only ICC certified plans examiners. We have multiple, as Anthony mentioned, he's one of them, but we have multiple CASP certified staff, which is very important for reviewing disabled access. We have many licensed architects and professional engineers, and many of them have design experience like myself. Our approach is to check plan submittals for code compliance. We review submittals for other application or applicable requirements, including conditions of approval, requirements from other local agencies and districts. We coordinate with other city departments when necessary, and we offer electronic plan check at no additional cost. And we can actually apply approval stamps electronically, which will allow the applicants to print out the approved plans and bring them directly to the city to speed the entire process. Electronic plan review is it's an extremely valuable service, and it's something that I think everything is going to. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is we have in the upper right corner there, we have one of our many letters of appreciation just on going the extra mile, helping the applicants and the cities to get through tough projects. So electronic plan review, going back to that, it reduces foot traffic at City Hall, as well as reduces shipping and printing costs for the applicant. It promotes a paperless environment, and this is at no additional cost to both the city or the applicants. It expedites the plan review and permitting processes, and it provides a quick reference to previously reviewed plans that we've reviewed that assist for future changes such as tenant improvements or additions. We can easily pull up the electronic files and see what was done previously. So some of the benefits of our plan review process is, as I mentioned, many of our plan reviewers come from the design side, and even the ones that don't have a strong influence from those that do have the design background. And that background of being on both sides of the counter allows us to understand better what the challenges the design professionals face, contractors and other applicants that are involved. And that allows us to really go the extra mile. It may be as going through on a complicated projects, helping an architect or an engineer work through complicated code issues and get code compliance, or it could be a special project that needs to be done right away. We get notified by somebody at the city that something needs to be done. We have the flexibility that we can move stuff around and get things done quicker. We identify potential problems early. We save time and expedite the review process with the backgrounds that we have, and we meet and exceed city and state requirements. There's a list. You may not be able to see it too clear from here, but our typical turnaround times for most major plan checks, it's typically a 10 business day turnaround, and then rechecks would be 5 business days typically. And for some of the smaller projects, like minor plan checks, like such as a room addition for a single-family home, solar reviews, detached accessory buildings, and those type of things, those will typically be a 3 business day turnaround time. And we also can do over-the-counter plan check with our during the hours that's available at the city. That's about it for that page. And then I'd like to turn it over to what becomes the face of the city, or face of the building department, and that's Barbara Chobanian is going to speak about that.
Hello, my name is Barbara Chobanian. I have about 5 years experience with Wildan as a permit technician. Our permit technicians are experts in providing customer-friendly permit and plan checking process services. That includes fee estimates and inspection requests. In addition, our staff will develop an expertise in the specific requirements of the City of West Covina, including information on the requirements of other city departments, including Public Works and Planning. In addition to helping our inspectors with the daily inspection routes, our permit technicians will be able to provide status as to estimated times for inspections and the results of those inspections. I'm going to hand it over to Anthony, and he's going to speak about the inspection.
Thank you. So our inspection service is going to continue with no interruption to the city, since Wildan is hopefully going to bring on the existing inspectors, and that'll help quite a bit. The inspectors that Wildan has are all ICC certified and are familiar with, or will become familiar with, the city's policies and procedures, as well as the developers and the contractors in the area. We'll provide 24/7 emergency services to the city as needed. Inspectors will fulfill all requested inspections. And as Patrick mentioned, Wildan has access to inspection staff locally, and they'll be available to supplement as needed as times come up. I did inspection for quite some time, so I'm not afraid to get out there and do a few if I have to. So we'll make sure that the city's covered. And with that, I'll turn it over to Patrick again.
Thank you, Anthony. So the question is why Wildan? I had early dinner over there across the street from Porto's. A great place. It's just amazing. I mean, that place, I'd never been such a great place like that. And it's awesome. And I was asking myself, well, what puts Willdan different from other consultants? Yeah, we've got the history, we've got, the 55 years, that's given. But the main thing is we have such a huge pool of people just to choose from. We have a lot of expertise, so you're just not getting a select individuals. You're getting a whole team with those individuals. Willdan always tries putting themselves above all their other consultants. Back in 2008, I was involved in a plan check. It was back when I was doing plan check. And it was a casino that was up in Idaho or something like that, and we had to come up with some way to review these plans electronically. And we were the first ones out there to actually come up with electronic plan check. And the more and more we started using it, the more and more it caught on. Maybe you think about it, a 24 by 36 inch set of plans costs about $3 over at ARC Repographs. You got 50 sheets per plan set, $150 per set. You got 4 sets, $150, $600. Every time you go to resubmit. Then you got 3 resubmittal process, $1,800. The applicant ends up spending. But what if we're able to, keep that in such a way that the applicant didn't have to pay that $1,800 every single time they're submitting 50 sheets? And that's huge, to be able to work with the applicant and contractors and designers. About 6 years ago, we had kind of a transition phase where I started getting involved in some of the hiring of the Willdan staff. And one of the things I started doing is I started hiring design engineers. My philosophy was if you can't design it, you shouldn't be plan checking it. What I wanted a team of designers that could work with the applicants and can kind of hold their hand and go back and forth and then say, okay, well, this doesn't work, but if you make that a 6 by 12, and then we'll kind of work, and then be able to work with the applicant. We consider ourselves part of the design team instead of just writing up these corrections and sending them back and forth. What can we do to speed up the process? And that's what we started doing, is hiring design engineers that could go that extra mile and help them out. Same thing with inspectors. I believe in hiring inspectors that are past contractors. They have an eye for the construction field. It's just not a certification to get them out there, but they've walked the job site. They've slammed a hammer before. My personal take is, I was in the construction field in the past, and I was up doing some inspections. I was, let's get a contractor over here, get a couple screws in here. Let's just doing some drywall now, and let's just try to speed up this process. But that's what Willdan brings, is those kind of expertise to the table. And that's huge, to bring that kind of expertise to the table. We want to ensure that we have such a smooth transition that we've offered all 4 of the existing city employees jobs. Obviously, the city doesn't want to necessarily be in that position, and we're just trying to make things work, and we're trying to make a smooth transition as much as possible for the city as well as the employees. I think with that actually concludes the presentation. We're available to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
What we'd like to do, we go ahead and finish our consent calendar, and then we're going to pull your item back up, and then want to speak to you about it then. Okay, we'll do it then. Okay? So that completes our presentation. And now we're going to move to the consent calendar. Is there any items you want to pull? I know, Councilwoman Lopez would like to pull item number 3. Any other items to be pulled? If not, can we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve
The rest of the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Castellanos?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado?
Aye.
Councilmember Shoemaker?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wu?
Aye.
Mayor Johnson?
Aye. Passes 5-0. And now we shall go to item number 3. Councilwoman Lopez, it's yours.
Thank you very much. What? Thank you very much for the presentation. And I do appreciate that they're going to be retaining our staff. The eliminated positions they will still have a job and continue. So that I do appreciate. My concern is, of course, customer service and how often will you be here? Public, I know you mentioned public counter services. How often would How often would our residents be able to just come to the counter? You'll be here, right?
No, would you like to come up here? You can answer. Council, you ask your questions.
A lot of questions to ask.
Stay right. I'll turn your mic on.
I'll try to answer as many as I can. If I can, I'll ask for a staff to come up.
We'll team up on this.
Okay, that's fine. There's another mic right there. You can use this mic. You can use this mic, and you guys, you can all stand up.
Because I know currently our city's operation is Monday to Thursday, and I want to make sure, is this available Monday to Friday? Is Saturday also an option? And how often will you be here when residents can come to the counter services? That's one question.
Yes, absolutely, and I can answer that. With the budget that we're given, that we're trying to work with the city on this, we plan to have the building official available 2 days a week. It'll be the same person to have consistency. It'll be Tuesday, Thursday in the mornings. And then also we can meet any time someone needs to meet with us, we can meet. We can be available anytime as well.
And if I can add for a little more assurances to my availability, I can assure you that the city manager, the community development director, the city engineer, they'll all have my personal cell number and can contact me if there's ever an issue. So it's not like we're only going to show up and then do what we do and then leave. We plan to provide service for the city and best service possible.
Okay, that's okay.
Quick one, maybe I missed this. You guys mentioned that there's an office 5 miles away. Where exactly is that one?
It's in the city of Industry.
Industry, okay. I was just asking where the office that's 5 miles away is located.
Yeah. I do want to point out that a permit text will be available, every day, Monday through Thursday, as well as the inspectors. They will also be available. What I was referring to is the building official and over-the-counter plan checks. That's what I was referring to.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, I want to follow up, Councilwoman Lopez regarding, I want to ask, first thing, we need their resume. I don't think we have anything to talk, but we can barely see the thing. So I think we should have a resume about what they're just talking about, and we should have a copy of that so we can review it and to see if we like it or not to approve to use them. I think we should have a copy even tonight. This first thing. Second thing, customer service. Just follow what she say. So if make an example, I'm going to build a house or I have a project. So I went to the planner say it's okay. Then we submit the plan to plan check. So now since we have them, and you say they only work 2 days in our city, no? So what's the procedure? Maybe let the consumer know, the resident or builder know. So in the future, if they have a plan, the plan check and permit, what is the procedure? How much better than before so we can use your service?
So pretty much give us step by step. If the resident does come in, wanting to build a house or anything or a business, can you kind of lay out the steps how it would go based on the availability that you'll be having here?
So the basic process is probably similar to what's happening now. Someone wants to submit to build something. If they're going to do a simple project like a re-roof, those permits are usually issued over the counter and then handed off to the inspector to go do inspections. For something,
if the over the counter, do we have a step Monday to Friday or Monday to Thursday?
Yes, absolutely. You will have 2 permit techs. Is the plan, right? 2 permit techs Monday through Thursday.
Oh, Monday to Thursday only?
What? Is the city halls only open Monday through Thursday, I thought?
Yes.
But do you have online service? So can people apply online?
That would be a process that we'd have to work through if the city currently does online permitting. If the city doesn't have that process, that we can look at the current software that you have and see how that could be implemented.
I think last time when Councilman Dario Casiano talking about 24 hours online service, or that's from your agenda, right?
Exactly. I mean, we could do something as simple as, name, address, type of project, just some sort of intake form where then we could reach out to them, where that's submitted on a Friday at midnight, Saturday morning, whatever. At least I think it would be incredibly useful for staff to have that in their inbox Monday morning. That should be pretty simple to do.
So are we talking about inspection services requests, or are we talking about?
Well, here, I think all of the above. I think if somebody needs anything over the weekend, one common complaint that I hear is that sometimes if someone does want to come on a Friday or any day of the week, but they can't make it, if consumers or the public have an ability to submit a request electronically, staff will have it Monday morning, whatever it may be. Then someone could sort those emails and distribute them appropriately. Is that something that's doable? I mean, I've got a very simple form on my website to that effect that I could easily teach anyone how to set up in 5 minutes.
I think it just becomes a matter of whether or not the program that you're currently using for issuing permits will transition to the whole online process, and it may be a very smooth process we can look at.
You mean tying that into the software? Maybe we could look at that as step two.
There are actually, I mean, there's a cost to it. There are companies that provide that transition between your permit process that you have now and to do that online.
Maybe we're thinking that would be version 2.0 in the future, but I mean, just in terms of, someone thinks of an idea on a Friday night or Saturday morning, and they just would like to have some sort of response and guidance on Monday morning as to what to do next. Just a simple form that sends to somebody's inbox. It's not tied to our software currently, but just name, address, nature of the request, and then they get guidance.
It sounds like a pretty simple solution, just setting up an email that could go to the building official it would be one email that goes to one, and it would be forwarded to multiple, so it doesn't look like there's multiple people involved in this email. But that way we were getting extra coverage and whatnot. Simple question, whatever. That's pretty straightforward. And then first thing Monday morning, that would just be something that we would take care of first thing Monday morning. As far as submitting a complete new SFR online and trying to do everything online, you still have all the other departments you have to submit with as well too. It'd be very difficult to do that in such a way. And
right,
have
that
everything
makes
come
sense.
together and then have the fees all paid all at once. But to answer your question, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why I was calling that version the sophisticated 2.0, but we could start small.
Yeah. I mean, and really the key with electronic plan check is what it really was doing is speeding up the process, going back and forth on the plan check process. For the most part, a lot of the designers and drafters are using AutoCAD. AutoCAD, or Revit, or whatever the drafting package is, you can easily convert to a PDF, and then the PDFs are what's submitting through the electronic plan check database. And we actually have a system in play already that things can be submitted over the weekend. If they're currently doing plan check corrections and whatnot, they're already in the process. It's crazy. We'll get these plans submitted. Sometimes they'll actually say the time. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and I mean, so they can do it at any time in the evening, submit the plans, and then also, in addition to that, they can also check the status of their plans online. Are they approved? Where I'm at with them all. They can check all that online as well too. So we do have a lot of online capabilities. Yes, what's that?
So I want to continue follow up about the question. I think it's very simple. The reason we want to change, this new way to do business is try to improve the customer service. Okay, I hope you understand. We have a major problem of customer service. Just by previous 2 years, our application from 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 down to 1,300. So meaning what? The people don't apply. Why? Because delay. Because bureaucracy, because they don't get things through, okay, and we have a couple projects delayed for 2 or 3 years, okay, so it kind of scared the business out of our city. At the same time, for our residents, they don't want to apply due to the bureaucrat and taking forever to get it done, or taking so long for the permit, for inspection. So hopefully, with this major change, we want improve the customer service. So meaning the business come in, they come to our planner to ask about what they can do, and then they say, yes, this is all being approved, then go to plan check, this and that. So things are rolling like clock and fast, so we can send it out so we can get our money and we can have something built. And then people happy and continue to come in. I think this is what we want to do. But I think what we say is, okay, the status, okay, and right now we don't know how we change to this new, okay, system, okay, we want is very smooth. And really appreciate you hire our staff into your company. I think this is something we do not want to lay off people. They are all work with us for a long time, and now we want to appreciate you hire them. But at the same time, we want the customer service, hopefully with your company, with a lot of, okay, and power and the resource can help us improve that thing. So what we're talking about, okay, it's all sound pretty good. We want to make sure you can deliver, okay, like you say, okay, 3 days, business day, okay, and plan checks 1 week. So in that way, we can get these things through. So how much you can guarantee all the things you just mentioned that can be delivered 100%, okay? So at the same time, you will always have staff, so people come in to check about their thing, or online to check about their status, so they don't have to waste your staff power, manpower on the counter. So this is a system how you kind of transition to your system to our city and then match together. So maybe you can answer how you can do and the point of contact. Okay, who is the person is the point of contact for the city to talk to, who's in charge. Okay, and we have the issue, and then how Saturday. Okay, and another thing is, when you make an appointment with your inspector, so okay, always whole day. Okay, can we shorten the time, a couple hours rather than entire afternoon? So some people have to wait over there, right? I build my own home, I build houses, so I understand time is money. You don't want to waste your time. So how good, okay, you guys can say, okay, for this time, okay, you will be there. Of course, we cannot pinpoint your time, but at least give a couple hours, not entire whole day. Then somebody have idle over there for a whole day. Thank you so much.
So just in regards to add to the customer service part of it, in particular for the plan check side of it, is once it's in the plan check process, the applicants, the architects, everybody involved, they will have the plan reviewers' contact information, so they can email or call. And if they're working on it in the middle of the night and they email us, we typically will respond in the morning when we get in and we see those emails. Something else that we do regularly is, like Patrick mentioned earlier, is we truly try to go into it as how can we add value as kind of part of the design team, both to make sure that you get the code compliant structures and buildings, but also to help to get the process going. So sometimes we'll get a set of plans or a resubmittal, after responding to the plan check comments, and there may be some kind of a disconnect or something, maybe they didn't understand something. So oftentimes we go out of our way and we call them and ask them, to explain what they're trying to do. And sometimes just by making that phone call, we can eliminate one of the plan check or one of the cycles. So instead of going to a third cycle, maybe we can get it done on the second cycle. Something else that we often do is there might be some minor change that needs to happen, but instead of sending it through a whole nother cycle, we can have the applicant send us a couple sheets and we'll slip sheet it into the set, so that again we can, instead of going to that third cycle or fourth cycle or whatever, we can get it done quicker. So those on the plan check side, those are some of the things that we do, and we really go out of our way to do it. That's one of the reasons why we get a lot of those letters of appreciation, because we've helped many architects and developers and stuff to get projects done quicker than they would have otherwise. In regards to the other questions in inspection.
As far as inspection, waiting all day, that's not right. We all have our busy lives. Kind of like the cable guy showing up, right? I'm gonna show up sometime between 8 and 5, right? Well, I got to go to the restroom. I've got to go to the store. I've got all these other things to do. And sure enough, as soon as you leave 15 minutes, the cable guy showed up, right? And then you got to wait another 2 weeks. That's not necessary. All the cities I've worked in as the building official, our inspectors have always did a daily log every day, and they always try and do a time slot, either a 1 hour time slot or 2 hour time slot is usually normal. I'll be there between 8 and 10. I'll be there between 2 and 4. That's usually how it takes place. The inspectors have an idea as far as when they create their log, they're not zigzagging all around town. They try and go from point A to B and A to G and hit B, C, D, and F and all along the way. It's a straight line. That's what they try and do. Obviously, they got to kind of zigzag a little bit out of the way, but that's what they do every day, and that's what they do every morning. And then given a time slot, every city I've worked in, it's always been that way. And the contractor, owner, whomever, can call first thing in the morning, and they also have ways to get in contact with the actual inspectors. If they're out in the field, they can reach out to them and say, where are you at? Also with our inspectors, we always try and make it a practice. Hey, look, I'm leaving this site, but I'll be at your site in 20 minutes, just to kind of give them a heads up. Yeah, and that's customer service, and that's the way it should be. But yeah. You good with that?
I actually have a follow-up question on the building inspection. I know you listed under the services and the time frame for delivery. Building inspection, you put as needed on call. I wanted to know what is the turnaround. So if I were to make a phone call for an inspection at my home, what's the turnaround? Do I have to schedule it? It's like the DMV, a month or 2 months ahead of its time. Is it a day turnaround if I schedule an inspection? So I wanted to know that.
Usually by the end of the business day. And so if you schedule an inspection today, and then we'll try and get to it, we will get to it the next day. So if you schedule it by the end of the business day today, where it's on the voice recording system, that way the inspectors come in the morning. The first thing they do, they check the voice recording system, and they have all the inspection requests, and they make their daily log. Obviously, if they're out and about in the day, and if it's a project, it's a hot item for whatever reason, and they're out there, and if they have time, they would swing by and do it. But if it's just a typical homeowner, most likely they wouldn't do it on the same day. Usually it's the next day turnaround.
So 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say 24 hours. If we make it at 8 o'clock tonight, we'll be out there 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And this is by calling it in, leaving a message. I know currently right now you can't leave a message. You have to talk to a live person, which is the frustration part. But
we got to change that.
well, so I wanted to know. I just pretty much want to make sure. I want to know how your services is going to be it's improved much more better than our current service. I mean, this is the reason why we're transitioning. I want to make sure the residents get the best and that there is no frustration and that we can have a smooth, just everything could be smooth so that they continue with their building and so forth. So that's why I wanted to make sure that that's the case.
Absolutely. Let me kind of add something here. As a building official myself, I've gotten calls from contractors. I called that in. I know I called it in. Whether you believe them or not, I don't know. And we got rain coming tomorrow. It's going to rain all night. I've got my footings are all dug, and I really want to get this poured. I've got a concrete truck waiting down the street. I really need to get inspection. It's kind of putting a lot of pressure on the city because we're going out there. What if it doesn't pass? But what I've done personally, if our inspectors can't actually make it out there, I'll personally go out there and get the inspection done and make sure that they can pour that concrete. And I'm being serious about this. I mean, very sincere. And that's the way it should be. Always try and put yourself in the other person's shoes. Let's just say it does rain, right? And all of a sudden, all their forms are all muddy, and then they got to wait for it to dry, and then it's going to rain again. It still doesn't dry. At the end of the day, your footing is going to be poured on wet soil, maybe not the best condition. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that everything is best for everyone.
And the residents will make sure that they have a go-to where they have a person to complain if they have problems, right? Before they go to us. They make sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I can't guarantee you that, but I mean, the building official should, will have cards that are available and whatnot. Maybe put a sign there, hey, look, any complaints, building official.
And if we have any issues with the building officials or any technicians that's currently here with poor customer service or any of that sort, how would you guys handle that?
You would have to go above the building official and come directly to me. I would oversee the building official. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, the capacity. Okay, we right now we're down to 1,300 in 2018. So okay, and this is not right. Okay, we normally 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Okay, so hopefully you can come up to 7,000 annual application. So what is capacity you can do? Okay, because the more, okay, is meaning what the vibrant of the city at the same time, it's good for you, good for us, so good for everybody. So what's the capacity what you can handle, okay, with how many application per year from, don't forget West Covina is a big city, it's about 120,000 population and 17 square mile. And we have a shopping mall, we have a lot of development potentially coming in. So this is a lot of house, maybe they want to remodel.
Absolutely. We have 180 employees within building and safety. We're constantly growing new employees, bringing new employees on. I know that we're kind of gotten into this kind of shrinking pond of, they're all kind of retiring and no one's getting in this industry. That's why we're constantly, bringing on new people, bringing them up through the ranks. As far as, one day you're at 1,300, next day you're at 2,300, next day, you're at 3,500. With that capacity, we bring in more inspectors, and then we've got more plan checkers. It's growing with the times. So that's not a problem at all. It's just, that's what we do. Yeah, but that's what we want for everything. I can tell you, the more and more I listen to all the council members here and the mayor, it's just the turnaround times being a month, inspections not, you have no clue when your inspection is going to be, nowhere to call in. Those things are, I take that personally. I don't like that at all. We got to change that. Whether if you guys stay with us, go with someone else, I don't know, but we got to change that. There's no question about that.
I just wanted to clarify, I know the city may be closed on Thursdays, but inspection still does occur on Fridays, so you'll be still working on Fridays, correct?
And Saturday.
And Saturday too? No, I was just pushing it. That'll be great if, but Fridays there'll be inspection coming out.
That's something that we have to check with. I think currently the staff is working Monday through Thursday. I think they're on 4 10-hour days, I believe.
No, inspection does come out on Fridays.
Okay.
And the city hall is closed. So I know, for example, when they come out, another frustration that we currently have is they come out on Friday inspection and we are, a contractor can fix whatever that needs to be fixed on Friday or Saturday. The frustration is I can't call on Friday or Saturday to schedule an inspection for Monday, so I actually lose 2 additional days. So that's why I wanted to make sure, again, customer service, again, reduce the frustration and everything on that. So I just wanted to make sure that still does occur, that we still operate.
Yes, if that's the current procedure, then absolutely. And as far as certain cases, we do Saturday inspections, and that would be a cost to the actual contractor. But that would be available, and we'd have to get an inspector there as well too. But I want to make that available. Let's just say something's moving real fast. I know we do have one jurisdiction where we're doing inspections 24 hours around the clock. They were pouring. It's a large warehouse. They need to get up and going. So we provide one with the inspectors. But obviously that was a cost that got passed on to the contractor because I was above and beyond the normal city inspections.
I want to follow up because time is money, especially for developer. So even you charge, I think they're willing to pay. So because they want to delay, and then it costs more money. So if you can provide, Saturday, or you say 24 hours inspection, so they can roll their development, so then in that way, so win-win. So you guys can charge extra, and then developer willing to pay. What they need, my understanding, just including myself, is the service. Okay, if you know service, then you delay costs money, and the project will fail. Because in the wrong timing, then you cannot sell your property. So timing is so important.
And that's feasible, and I think the residents would appreciate that because we like to have lots of options, so thank you.
And I was just going to say something that I think, unless Patrick wants to correct me, is our objective is to make as smooth of transition as possible at this initial stage, and then call on all the experience, the years and years of experience, decades of experience that Wildan has with all these things, and implement, improvements that you guys may request, or stuff that we just see as a problem, because our goal is customer service. It's been an amazing transition for me, going from the design side and the frustrations of dealing with other plan checkers that work for cities or other consultants and stuff, and some of them are good, but overall, Wildan as a whole, everything is focused on the customer service. So you combine that philosophy of being providing the absolute best customer service with all those years of experience, then we can gradually transition and add programs and add things like the Saturday and the being able to leave a voicemail. That's unheard. I can't believe that's not already, just like Patrick said, that's not already being done. But anyway, that's my view on it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to talk about
Okay, yeah, and we're having,
contract.
yeah, we're talking about the contract.
Okay.
You want to have a comment?
Yeah, I have a comment. Okay, on the agenda 3. Okay, I review the contract. I think what they say is sound very good. Okay, but I never work with them. I know they have a. Based on the councilwoman, Shoemaker says you guys have outstanding reputation, and I don't know, so I just based on what you say, and sound too good to be true, sound pretty good, sound like that this thing is what we need, because right now, currently, we just have a problem to move the project and then discourage our resident, to apply, and I don't believe that we only have 1,300 due to the population, so meaning what, the people just don't apply, and so what we try to do is make it very smooth and make it very safe for them, and we have co-enforcement in the future, all combined together. So in that way, I think we can move the thing. So, but the issue is this. Sounds so good. But I don't know how smooth. I have a problem with 2-year contract. I really want to give them 1-year contract. And if nothing wrong, we continue to roll. So in that way, so there will be always. To try to do the best customer service for us. Because if you get a long-term contract like the history we have, possible, the issue is, maybe not you guys, I'm talking about the previous, then people just, then they say have a long-term contract. So my preference is 12 months, 1 year, but, if everything good, we continue to renew it, yearly, this is my suggestion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I actually don't have a problem with the 2 years. I think that it offers stability in a department where we need that. In reviewing the contract that's part of our agenda, there is a 15-day notice if we want to cancel it anyway. So I don't see any difference between 1 to 20 years if we can cancel it at any time and with 15 days notice. So that is just my thought on that particular item.
I agree with both of you. But I think it was important for the public to know that the point of view that we would like the public and everybody to know how serious we are about constant and never-ending improvement. And also, as Council Member Jessica Shoemaker stated, we do have that 15-day out if necessary. We hope we never have to use it. I see this as a very positive step in improving what we're doing. And I know our city manager was about to respond. One question I'd like to add on is just if you could expand on the fiscal impact for the public, please.
Sure.
2 years, I don't mind because this is a major transition that we're having, especially in our department. My only concern is I'm not sure if you've already looked at our current system of what we currently have in place. Have you seen that? Yes, no? My concern is, I know, like you mentioned, systems, online. To tell you the truth, I don't believe there is an online system currently, and I can speak from experience going through this whole building and permit process. So I don't want to see, well, there's not an online thing, okay, it's additional costs, so forth. Because like you said, I want a smooth transition. So the 2 year, I can deal with that because I know there's going to be hurdles and transition in place. But my concern is there going to be any hidden costs that be brought to the city by saying, well, the city doesn't have this in place. The city doesn't have that. We need to do this. We need to do that. So that's one of my concerns currently. And again, back to the fiscal. Thank you.
My comment is that I really don't have a problem with the 2 year. I figure that, like we say, we need a smooth transition. We need somebody that's there, that's dedicated. I've listened to you, and you sound very, very well experienced what you're doing. There's a couple items I really liked. I like the part about you saying, we come in, we pay our $600, we pay our $800, and you have to turn around, and you might end up paying $1,800. You might have to end up paying that $1,800 again. You do everything electronically. Everything saves all that time coming back and forth. So I really enjoyed listening to that. There's some of the other things I thought you made some quite unique points at. So I don't have a problem with the 2 year. Like I say, we do have, like with Councilwoman Shoemaker said, we have that 15 days, that if things aren't going right. And I think the more you can do for us, probably with the people calling in and stuff like that, making that transitions. And my other thing I would really want to say is that your lead person, that if there is a complaint by a resident, that I would hope that if they do have a complaint, it gets to you, you answer them. You answer the resident or the contractor that's placing the complaint. Don't hand it off to somebody else and have them call, because I find that the best thing that a business can do, if a contractor or residents doing that, if they have a complaint, and for example, they call you personally, they get your number, they call you, you answer them. You call them back if they can get you there, and instead of leaving back the message, this is what we're doing. Let them, if you can satisfy their mind, then they're going to be happy with what we're doing. So I don't have a problem with it.
It sounds like I'm a minority over here, but I think you persuade them. But okay, I'm a tough sell. Okay, I still prefer 12 months because I own business. I like to annually review my staff. Okay, it's no different than you guys. I think you sound good. I think you're perfect. Okay, and just based on what you say, but my preference 12 months. Annual review. So in that way, it doesn't mean that you will be fired. It should mean you will be always try to do the best customer service. So we annually review your performance. So in that way, I think you will do the best service. I understand 12 months, 24 months, maybe no difference. We can terminate you, but we're not going to terminate you. Okay, three council make a special. Okay, then we are going to terminate you. It's not going to happen. But if we 12 months, I think we will put you on the line and hopefully give the best service. Okay, and to serve our city, and you do the best service, I don't think we will let you go. We will beg you to stay with us because you're doing such a good job, a lot of business coming in, and everything go out very fast. So my preference still 12 months, okay? I like you guys. I think you guys can do a good job. But anyway, that's what my preference.
It actually has to do with Councilwoman Lopez Viado's question. kind of going to jump on it. My understanding is we can set up an email for people to send in requests. When they are going through the plan check process with you and you're going through the cycles, it's your system that they're using, so we don't have to build one. Okay, that was my point of clarification, because that's how I thought I understood it. And so it's easy enough for us to set up an email address that they can handle directly. Then everything else is going through their system from that point on once they get the plans. Okay, I understood that correctly. And then the second point for the 24 months versus 12 months, I would hope that a city manager with Mr. Carmony's experience would be watching the departments and know before 24 months if there's an issue with a contractor or a vendor. So that if we need to use those 15 days, we can use them 2 months from now if we need to, because he'll, and the departments will know whether or not it's working. So that's just my little extra, my little extra, hey, if you leave the 2 years there, then you're also testing the city manager.
Mr. City Manager.
You asked a lot of questions. I'm going to try and get through them in order. The first one pertained to the time term, and Councilmember Shoemaker gave the answer I wanted to, which is the initial term is for 2 years with 1 year extensions, but the city can cancel for convenience on a short notice, 15-day notice. I always try for 5 votes, Council.
Of the city council, right? If you want to cancel their contract.
Well, if I put out an RFP, I think you'll know we're not happy. But I'm not planning to fail here. I'm planning to succeed. I think that the bigger question I would give to the questions, the answer I would give to the questions I heard with respect to the performance metrics and the time turnarounds, if you just glance to page 16 of the contract, those are the metrics. As someone who's in the people business and the customer service business, I can tell you this. Applicants in this arena are reluctant to complain because they don't want to make angry the building inspector, right? There's movies about this, and they don't want to be in that movie. But we're moving here, I think, from customer service, which has a lot of opportunities for improvement, to an area where we can do much, much better with customer service. Look down that list. Minor plan checks for room additions. Here, the consultant is guaranteeing 3 business days as their metric. We had a 540 square foot single family room addition that was in plan check for 30 days. I guarantee you we're going to do way better than that with this system once established. I wanted to speak to a moment about the fiscal questions. I think in addition to improving customer service, one of the things we're doing here is we're transitioning this with the private sector model from a cost center to a profit center. Although in government the fees have to be related to the cost reasonably borne in the provision of the service, I think even leaving the fees exactly where they are, and they're quite low in this region, by a 70% of fee model, we're going to make a 30% profit. I think the problem with the current fee arrangement is we're not recovering all of the true cost. If you look at the overhead of the city, the 3rd floor of City Hall, the finance department, the IT department, the city clerk department, the HR department, the city attorney's office, my office, those things aren't accounted for in an overhead, and they need to be, as does things like a better permits plus electronic system should the city need to do that to help applicants get through all parts of City Hall. We're going to come back separately with a recommendation that we do something with these fees. That's not on your agenda for tonight. But if we do take the fees where I think they need to be, in line with other cities in this region, the consultant is willing to do it for a much lower percentage. It'll drop from 70% to 50%. And were there any questions I missed, Council? Did anybody have one that I forgot to address?
When you say room remodeling, okay, before it's 30 days, they say 3 days.
Yes, sir.
So it's 3 days, right? Okay, 3 business days.
That's what they said.
Really cover them.
I can tell you, having worked with the firm, they're also quite open to the city manager saying, this is one we need and we need it yesterday. I've had this firm do first building permit plan checks for a standalone grocery store and for a standalone national chain restaurant in 7 days. And the industry standard for that is 4 times that. So if we call and we say we need one, they're going to get it for us. I also know with respect to this question of meeting the needs of the developer for construction frequencies. I've had occasion working with this firm where I've flipped the paradigm and told the builder, my inspector will be there every morning at 9 o'clock, whether you need him or not, and if you don't, he'll keep going down his list. It takes a lot of tension out of the process, and so I'm convinced that they're going to be able to respond to the needs of the development community. The message being West Covina is open for business.
Any other questions? If not, we have a motion.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Is it 24 months?
As is.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Castellanos.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lopez Viado.
Aye.
Councilmember Shoemaker.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wu.
I still insist 12 months. But I love you guy. It's no.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye. It passes 4-1. Congratulations and welcome, West Covina. Okay, I guess that's the end of our consent calendar. Is there any other things council wants not? If not, we are adjourned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, 1 hour.
We broke the record.
Oh, no.